for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds chirping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. Have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land.
And we are live. Hello everyone, it's Brian here, the UK Bitcoin Master, back in this new decade 2020 with my regular Thursday Bitcoin for Beginners show. So the first thing I want to do is wish each and every one of you a happy, healthy and prosperous 2020. I think that's key. It is the 2nd of January 2020, and as always, the name of the game on this channel, Strong Bitcoin Hand. Build that strong hand. Follow channels like this to help you to not get fudded out of your coins by rubbish that's going on out there in the media, things that people that you listen to. It's really, really important that you, if you're new into Bitcoin, start to find the right commentators to follow that can help you to build that strong hand. So welcome everybody. Briefly in the chat, I can see Buffy W, my lovely daughter. Welcome Buffy. Bitrio, I think you're new to the channel. Welcome to you. Zaza's in. Rocky Palumbo, Happy New Year Rocky. Paul Rolo's in. Elaine, Mrs. UK Bitcoin Master. I've seen Andy BTC. I think I saw Bill in a little earlier. I think Casso's around somewhere. The regulars are in. Welcome to you guys if you're watching this live now. If you are catching this in the future, welcome to you as well. My name is Brian. I'm the UK Bitcoin Master, and twice a week I do my best to inspire people as to why they should get into Bitcoin. Do follow me across all the social media platforms that I am on. Briefly, Twitter, Facebook, I'm there too, bitbacker.io, BitShoot, Library TV, DTube, all of them. Go to that channel and then / or at UK Bitcoin Master, and you will find me there. And any support you want to give on any of those, fantastic. You know, I'd appreciate it. Don't do it for financial gain. I've said this a million times before, but of course, you know, any donation is gratefully received, obviously. Yeah, it is the first show of 2020, Buffy, and I'm really excited about all of that. Do like this video, obviously. Share it, subscribe to the channel, bash the bell button so you get notified when I go live. That's really important. Next to the great big subscribe button, you will see that bell. Hit it and hit all notifications, and then you should get notified an hour before I go live. If you are watching this in the future, down here on the right, there's that big subscribe button, so do hit it. Okay, so what else do I need to say to you all before we get on with the show? Of course, my disclaimer as always, I'm just covering my own butt here, people. If you're watching this now, if you're watching it in the future, do not take anything I say as financial advice. It is not meant as financial advice. I just talk to people about why they should own Bitcoin from my own passion, from my own research, after going down the rabbit hole myself. If you're going to buy it because you've done your own research. Never buy what you can't afford to lose. Obviously, this is an emerging asset. I think that's a given. My websites are there. If you want to watch every video I've ever done, ukbitcoinmaster.com. If you want to watch my live interviews that I've done to date, bitcoininterviews.com. And I've got a live interview coming up a week today, next Thursday, the 9th. So do join me for that one. Get those out the way. Finally, there's my Lightning address. If you want to drop a Lightning tip, again, you don't have to, but I thought I would pop it up because people have DM'd me asking how they can leave me a tip. I hope you like the new hoodie, people. I'm not really a hoodie person, being 60, but I quite like it. My lovely wife bought it for me for Christmas. And, I walk around town with this and I want people to ask me about Bitcoin, and they never, ever do. And what that does, it just shows you, even though we've gone into 2020, just how early we are in all of this. Probably 99% of people have heard the name Bitcoin before, but 99% of people may have heard the name, but they haven't got a clue what it is. They don't have a clue why it's such an exciting asset class, and they just discard it as something illegal or some kind of Ponzi or some kind of fad thing that's out there. Less than 1% of people, I believe, really get it. They really understand, where this thing is going. It's on its journey. None of us are going to stop it. And you guys that are on this channel now and in the future, you are the guys that are getting it. And I take my hat off to you. So there you go. So let me get on with the show. Let me, if I can get my technology to work, get the desktop up. A few things I want to just, what is Zaza saying? Hoodie makes you look more young and hip. Get in there, Zaza. Okay, perhaps I'll wear the hoodie a bit more then. Hey, listen, I don't want to be young and hip. I am young and hip. I feel very young for my age. Another story for another day. I'm probably never going to go the route of the Bitcoin Meister and start doing the Beyond a Bitcoin show and what I like personally. But you know what? I'll take that as a compliment, dude. Thank you very much. Okay, so yeah, over the last hour or so, I've seen the price dip below 7K into the high 6Ks. Does that bother me? Not. Who said this? I think that was Pretty Woman. Not in a million. Doesn't bother me one iota, because if you look at the charts, Bitcoin steadily trading between the sort of 7,000 and the 7.3s. It's just bobbing along like that. We are moving towards the halving, obviously, in May. I don't want to predict what happens based on what happened in the past. So let's just see how the whole thing plays out. I think that's the best thing. No predictions on this show, people. You're not going to get me predicting what I believe the price is going to be on this show, because you know what? None of us can predict what Bitcoin's going to do. And I've said it a million times before. Bitcoin will do what it's going to do, when it's going to do it. And none of us, particularly those traders out there, will ever influence what Bitcoin does. They'll never guess it right what it does. The amount of people in the 2.5 years I've been in this space that have got totally wrecked by trying to predict the top or trying to predict the bottom when Bitcoin is so volatile, it's not worth doing it. You'll never get advice to trade on this show, that's for sure. Okay, so I found this article. Bitcoin and Ethereum outperform Amazon and Netflix. So, all those naysayers out there saying Bitcoin's going nowhere, listen, look what this is saying. Whoops, hang on, technology. The price of Bitcoin has risen more than any other asset since its launch in 2009, offering investors remarkable profit opportunities. From a purely technical perspective, Bitcoin did not even have a price on New Year's Day in 2010, but was used by Bitcoin pioneers for fun. Bitcoin Market was the first exchange to officially offer Bitcoin for trading at a starting price of 0.03 of a dollar. I mean, goodness sake, what is that? 3 cents, whatever it is. Since then, Bitcoin has risen to an all-time high of more than 20,000 USD. I think it was just under, but we won't worry about that. In December 2017, I lived through that. I'm sure many of you on the call have lived through that, which could only be held for a short time. At the beginning of this year, Bitcoin started with a price of just under 3.9. At the turn of the year, Bitcoin closed at 7.2 and thus achieved a price increase of 84.62%. However, if we look at the last 10 years of price development, Bitcoin is unrivaled with a value increase of more than 62,000%. So, we can't predict the future, people, but let's say that you own a Bitcoin today, or even a fraction of a Bitcoin. If that did the same over the next 11 years, my goodness, what would that bit of a Bitcoin or one Bitcoin be worth to you? Now, this is what you need to understand being a low time preference. Zoom out. Stop looking for what you can make now. Start looking for what can happen in a decade or less. You got to remember that over the last 11 years, most of that time, Bitcoin was frowned upon. The media weren't talking about it. If they were, it was for drugs, guns, criminals, whatever. Silk Road, the big hacks, the Mt. Gox crash, and everything in between and after. Okay? But now we've got the innovation. Now we've got big businesses looking at it. Now we've got governments and banks looking at it. Even if they don't understand Bitcoin and using this word blockchain, there is a lot more interest now in Bitcoin. So what could happen over the next 11 years if Bitcoin replicated 62,000% growth? That is what makes me fizzle with belief inside. Grab your own calculator, put it in terms of your fiat if you want, and times it by 62,000, and see what comes out up for you. If you've got 1,000, it's going to give you 62,000, isn't it? So, Mr. Barefoot Barry from New Zealand, Strong Hand Bitcoin 2025. Welcome to the show, sir. Happy New Year to you. Love it when you guys drift into the show and make your comments. Really appreciate that. Glad that we've got a global following. That's really exciting for an ex-truck driver like me. So, again, thanks for all your support. Let's have a look at another one. Bitcoin in 2019, positive BTC performance across the board. Now, I looked at something on here that I was going to share with you, I think, but it says the rundown. Bitcoin price up 95% year to date. Okay, so they said 82 on the previous one or whatever it was. Network fundamentals go sky high. That's important. Increase in institutional Bitcoin on-ramps. What have I just been saying in the previous one? More active addresses, more hodlers. You see, people are starting to realise now that don't trade this thing, buy and hold it. Get it off an exchange, get it onto your Trezor and just hold and then get on with life. Maybe they're watching my channel. I don't know. But you know what I say? Buy, get off the exchange, proof of keys tomorrow, get off the exchange onto a Trezor and then get on with life. Enjoy life, go to work, do what you do and then wait and Bitcoin will do what it does when it does it. Was there something else I was going to look at? Yeah, it was this. If you zoom out to the start of last year and look at where Bitcoin was at, yeah, we had a rise up. Now it's gone back down again, but we're still well and truly above where we were this time last year. And that's the thing to keep in mind when you are worrying about what the media is saying, about what your next door neighbor or your brother or your sister are saying. Build that strong hand, people. That's all you need to do, and then wait it out. Bitcoin, 4 big competitive advantages over altcoins in 2020. What is that about? Well, scarcity. Okay, we know it's scarce, which all the other assets haven't got. They've got millions and billions of them. I mean, flipping Ripple, I don't know how many millions and gazillions and billions and quintillions or whatever it's got, but Ripple is just print, XRP, whatever you want to call it. Bitcoin is scarce. There are only ever going to be 21 million in existence. Okay, so a big factor. Then we've got apolitical value transfer, which I've read and I still don't really understand it. So, hey, listen, ordinary working class guy from the UK, I don't know what apolitical value means, but it seems like it's a real positive. Somebody's going to scream at me in the chat. Technical prowess, most definitely. Look at this. Rocky's gone on about this before in the past, but look at its hash rate, the orange one going up, compared to Bcash and BSV, pretty well non-existent. You know, these have got figureheads. King of the Trolls, or RV, I'll call him. You've got Fake Toshi, or CSW, as I'll call him. I don't want to name them because apparently there are certain algorithms out there that if these big hitters know they're being named, they all of a sudden jump on a show and want to join in, and I don't want them on my show. You know, I will never slander anyone else, but the figures, the graph there does its own talking, doesn't it? The hash rate, I now know, is what secures a network. So if Bitcoin has got all this hash rate and they haven't, which is the most secure? And then finally, it is not an entity. Again, BSV, Bcash are entities. They've got figureheads. They've got company. It can be closed down by a government. You can't close down Bitcoin because nobody owns it. Nobody runs it. It is millions of computers around the world. So it can't be stopped. So there are just 4 major advantages as to why Bitcoin is at the top and the others aren't. If you need any more convincing after being on my show, I call it a rip-off, Dan says, you know, as to why you should own Bitcoin and not these other, I won't say the word that a lot of you say, but rubbish coins. What have I got here? Another article that doesn't seem to want to load. That just shows we're live. Oh, what the heck's happened there then? Hold on, guys. Let me do a refresh. There we go. Yeah. Oh, just press refresh again now. Google Trends reveal Bitcoin, not blockchain, defined the crypto market in 2019. I remember last year and the year before, all governments, International Monetary Fund, other companies were going on about blockchain this and blockchain that. It is not blockchain that is going to change the world. It is Bitcoin. Okay? Blockchains are... my computer's going weird and wonderful again. There you go. See? Blockchain. It's not blockchain. It is Bitcoin. I'm not going to get into the whys and wherefores of the two, but if you're new, go and do your research on what is blockchain technology and what is Bitcoin. Blockchain technology, in my view, is just a way of tracking music, tracking sports, tracking companies, employees, whatever it is. Bitcoin is not blockchain, people. But Google Trends says that it's Bitcoin, not blockchain, that defined the crypto market in 2019. This is all going to play out, people. It is all going to play out. You just need to hold your Bitcoin offline and just get on with your life. And talking of offline, there we are again. I think this is Bitcoin Magazine, I believe. I think Vlad. Yeah, Vlad Kostea. I've had Vlad on my show as a guest before. He writes for Bitcoin Magazine. So a well-respected publication, and they seem to only print good, decent, honest material. So Vlad's now talking about the proof of keys initiative that is happening tomorrow, that Trace Mayer put in place a year ago to celebrate Bitcoin's 11th birthday and the first Genesis block, basically encouraging everyone to get your coins off exchanges. So quickly, for newbies, for almost a decade, Bitcoiners from all across the world have celebrated January the 3rd as Bitcoin's bona fide birthday. It was on that date in 2009 that Satoshi Nakamoto mined Bitcoin's first Genesis block, and it was the first successful hash computation that defined the political purpose of Bitcoin and the embedded message. The Times, January the 3rd, 2009, UK Chancellor on the brink of the second bailout for banks. And we know what happened with the 2008 crash, don't we? So, very interesting that when the first block was mined. We are celebrating that tomorrow. So people, if you've got any coins on exchanges, get them off there. Get them off there now. Don't wait till tomorrow when there's an absolute rush. Be interesting to see if any exchanges suffer, stop dishing out, go under. I mean, Hit BTC seems to be an exchange that's being mentioned a lot that it might fold under the proof of keys. But again, no predictions. Let's just see how that all plays out. But seriously, you want to be getting any coins you've got off of exchanges anyway. I can't make any changes tomorrow because all of my Bitcoin is off exchanges and it's on my hardware device locked away safely. A few tweets I found. Plan B seems to be gathering some momentum. So central banks started quantitative easing, or QE, and negative interest rates as a temporary measure to bail out banks 10 years ago after the financial crisis. We know that. He's asking the question, why are they starting quantitative easing again now? Is there a new crisis looming? Are banks in trouble? What do they know that we don't? Look, there's a lot of information out there that says that the Federal Reserve is printing billions and billions and billions of dollars, which is inflating your dollar away, making it worthless. We know that's going on. There is definitely something going on behind the scenes. There's more and more debt, crazy more debt than there ever was in 2008. And my brain just says to me, is that sustainable? Can it continue without something going pear-shaped? Is it unrealistic to believe that we could see another 2008? I don't think that's unrealistic. Do I think banks are going to go away? The dollar's going to go away? I actually don't. I'm with Adam Meister there. Some people do. I just think that it will coexist with something like Bitcoin. But I think Bitcoin's going to be a major player and a safe haven for people to put their assets other than precious metals, when this thing starts to play out. So again, we're just going to have to wait and see, aren't we? But for those of you that have got the gut feeling I've got, you want to have that safe haven and have your wealth or certainly a portion of it in Bitcoin, in my view. And it's only my opinion, by the way. Rhythm Trader. I realised when I was looking for these, this dude has got serious followers. I can't find it now, but I think he's got something like 51,000 followers. Awesome. So I reached out, I tweeted him the other day and just said that I use a lot of your stuff on my channel, dude. Hasn't come back to me, but hey, listen, I'm a small fish in this big world. Bitcoin, the last decade, has enabled 487,000 transactions, mined 600,000 blocks, produced 100 exahashes per second, absorbed 130 billion in value, secured 10,000 full nodes, maintained 99.98% uptime. That's crazy. And created 10 years of price higher lows. Proved anarchy isn't just possible, but effective. Really love that tweet. Zach Vowell, I'm going to reach out to Zach. And Zach, if you're watching this, come on my show. Come on my show as a guest, dude. I'd love to get you on one of my live shows. Zach, the trend is your friend. 1st of January 2011, Bitcoin 30 cents. $12, $5. I won't read them. 13,740, 316, an SOS or an alarm bell is going to, an obituary, I guess he's saying there. 433, 980, 13.5, Jan 2018, 3,750, Jan 19, another SOS, but it bounced back and recovered as we know. And then Jan 2027 too. The question is, how will this play out over the next decade? That's the thing that I am massively excited about, and so should you. Rhythm Trader again. Media's take on Bitcoin. Expired, wired at $13. Fool's Gold, Slate at 131. Wrong, CNN at 333. Ponzi, WAPO, whatever the heck that is, at 182. Joke, Biz Insider at $433. Ash Heap, USA Today at $208. Disappointment, New York Times at 208. Spells Doom, Bloomberg at 532. Early Obituary, Reuters at 821. Isn't it interesting how we're not seeing these with Bitcoin around the high 6,000, 7,000 mark? Just not seeing them, are we? If it starts to drop, these will all appear again. That should not freak you out, people. That should just, what I'm saying should help you. When you hear this, read this, you should think, that Brian, the UK Bitcoin master, he keeps saying stuff like this is going to happen. I'm not saying it, people. I'm picking up articles and sharing with you from some people that I really respect in the crypto or the Bitcoin space. That's all I'm trying to do, and putting my words behind it to try and help you guys build your own belief. He's a cool dude. I was on a show with him and Adam. Dan, yeah, are you talking of Zach? I'm going to reach out and see if I can't get him on one of my live shows. That's my New Year's resolution, to get some more live shows going. Talking of Dan, shout out to justlearnbitcoin.com. You've heard me say this a million times before. If you head over there, you'll get to this page. They do everything over there, consulting on everything from wallet setup and backup, long-term storage solutions, end-of-life planning, coin splitting, airdrops, coin sent to the wrong chain, vanity addresses, mining, flipping out. It's all over there. If I click on a couple of the tabs and you get inside, you can see that they've got the shop at the top and the apparel site, the apparel. I keep getting that wrong, apparel. So if I click on the shop, that takes you over to here. I just want to give a plug for this. Great, you won't see it, but I got one of these Bitcoin bracelets. Absolutely superb. Yeah, Zach, got you there, Dan. Love promoting this. I've got another one over here that's slightly too tight for my wrist, but to give you an idea of what it looks like, there you go, people. Quite a little thick silver elasticated bracelet. Special offer on over there at the moment. If you want one of these and you want to get 25% off, just type in holiday25 in the coupon code, all uppercase. I don't think there's a space. I put a space, but I think it's all one word. So that's worth checking out. Also, look at the merch that Dan's got over here, and this is ever growing. Everything you could imagine in terms of mugs and t-shirts and hoodies and all sorts. So, it is worth checking out. And again, there's a 30% discount over here, which is UK Brian, all capital letters, no spaces again. So do head over there and check it out. What I want to plug myself from the website is this black box down here that says, please help return 14.2 BTC to Pastor Phil. I want to just, if I may again, please indulge me, people. If this turns you off, perhaps you've already donated, perhaps you don't want to donate and you're bored with me saying it, but I'm a Brit. And when I see someone in distress, I'll do everything I can to help them. And Phil is in distress. Phil is in his late 60s. He's a former pastor, served in the military. Him and his wife have taken in disadvantaged children and adopted them and brought them up as their own. And Phil had over 14 Bitcoin on a Trezor. and it needed a firmware update. So he did the firmware update, and 24 hours later, a hacker had stolen every bit of it. There was a load of Litecoin went as well, and Phil's balance was zero. So if you're on this page and you scroll down, the great Rocky Palumbo, who's in the chat now, I did a show with Rocky and Pastor Phil, and honestly, 2x it, 1.75x it, but watch it and hear what happened and how awful that was. There's another video underneath from Yes for Motivation. He's another guy from the UK that explains it slightly differently. So they're there. You can see what happened. And I put it to you all. How would you feel if it happened to you? How would you feel if it happened to you and you lost all your Bitcoin? Okay. And then there was a cause, a movement to try and help you, and people were just going over to your website, having a look, but donating not even $1 and leaving again, because we can see what's going on, and people are doing that in their droves, but very few people are making a donation. And if all you ever did was took 10 or 15 minutes out of your busy life, headed over, checked it out, and then just donated $1 or £1. If 10,000 people did that, we'd get Phil one of his 14 Bitcoin back, 1.3 or whatever it might be. Okay. If 10,000 people, if 100,000 people donated just one, we'd get him 10 coins back. This is about a lot of people doing a little bit. So scroll to the bottom, click the link, go over to Tallycoin and donate something, please. With a bit of Litecoin if you got it, with Bitcoin Rhodium, or with a tiny little bit of Bitcoin. Again, if you want to read the story, click the family tab, and in, again, 10 minutes, you can read the story that's headed Bagpipes, Bitcoin and Broken Dreams. And maybe if you take the time to read that, maybe it will pull on your heartstrings like it did on a few people that were on the show recently, and they headed straight over there and made a donation to Phil's cause. And what Rocky Palumbo has also very cleverly done, he's also put on the site, on the wallet tab, you can see all of Pastor Phil's purchases of Bitcoin over time, building himself up, and then Rocky has put the transaction ID that stole Phil's coins, with the hope that someone out there that's got a techie brain and might be, a guru or whatever, could maybe even track who the hacker is. Would you ever get the Bitcoin back? Probably not. But the point is, and I'm going to leave this part with you, what if it happened to you? Just imagine what Bitcoin you've got right now. If you plugged a Trezor in, or your Ledger, or whatever it is, and your coins were gone. I'm telling you now, I plugged my Trezor in once and I wasn't familiar with it, and my Bitcoin looked like it had gone and it said naught, and I want zero, and I wanted to throw up. I literally wanted to throw up. I was freaking out. I was almost crying. It was like you try and put your hard-earned money into this and all of a sudden it's gone, and I was completely freaking. Luckily, I found it and it was all there, and it's still there. Thank the Lord. Okay, but how would you feel if you'd worked hard, if you did extra hours at work and you were stacking those sats and all of a sudden one day it was gone? Please, in this new year 2020, please head over, take the time, watch your movie with your family later, give 10 or 15 minutes to Pastor Phil, please, and make a tiny donation. As always, I'm going to finish up the tabs with a quote, because you know that I love quotes, and I love this one. Believe when others doubt. This is Bitcoin. Work when others refuse. Save when others waste. Stay when others quit, and you will win when others lose. I want to bring a name to the fore, if I may. A guy that comes on the channel. He's so busy, but he can't always be on. Guy Bennett. I've said this before. Guy Bennett bought Bitcoin at the top in 2017 when it was close to 20,000. And he's lived and stayed through the crash, the bear market of 2018 and early 19, 2019, he's still with us in 2020, and I'm telling you, that dude is going to have a great big smile on his face because he's learned how to have a strong hand. And if you're watching this now, build that strong hand, because you only lose money if you sell your Bitcoin. If you lose money on paper, let's say you bought Bitcoin at, say, 8,000 and it goes to 6,000, on paper, you've lost money at that period in time. But if you hold your coin and hold your keys, that will rebound, and then it will go to 10 and 12 and 15 and whatever it does. And then you've no longer lost money. It's only on paper. But this is where people freak out. They see it drop and think, I better get out now before I lose any more, damage limitation, as they call it. And then they've lost their coins, it bounces back up again, and then they are sick to the pit of their stomach. Believe when others doubt. Work when others refuse. Save when others waste. Stay when others quit. And you will win, people, when others lose. Don't you think that's an incredible quote? I do. I think that is an absolutely superb quote to end the show on. So, people, once again, Happy New Year from the UK Bitcoin Master family. Have a strong hand. Proof of keys tomorrow. Like this video, share it, subscribe, bash the bell button. Follow me across all those platforms at UK Bitcoin Master. Rocky, you're going to hate me. I am reposting my videos up to DTube. I know they go up onto Steam It, but I'm telling people to follow me on DTube, not Steam It. DTube. Okay, because I need to have alternative platforms, because none of us know what flipping YouTube is going to do next, and I need to know my videos are not just solely on YouTube. So follow me across those platforms. Support me if you want to, guys. That is the end of the show. I will be back on Monday with my regular Monday show. I'll be announcing my guest for next Thursday, so do join me then. Until then, peeps, have a great Bitcoin evening, day, morning, weekend, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. Signing off. Click on the squares as they come up. I will catch you all on Monday, but I am signing off for now. Cheers, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye now.